to this final episode of 2015 of Not So Breaking News. I'm your host, Ray Taylor, and you've come to a very special episode. We're going to do things a little different today because this is the last episode of 2015. Now I know that I've only done a couple episodes because I only started a couple weeks ago, but hopefully by next year I'll have a number of videos that I can look back on and actually have great stories to go back to and really bring you the best stories of 2016. Unfortunately, because I just started, I don't really have that opportunity to give you the best stories of 2015. But 2015 wasn't that bad of a year. So I'm going to bring you some of my favorite stories. They may have been major breaking news stories, which kind of goes against who I am, but at the end of the day, we're at the end of the year. This is it. Next time you see me will be in 2016. So I feel like I need to share with you the best that happened in 2015. Unfortunately, in 2015, there was a lot of not so good, which is why I wanted to start this channel. There was a lot of violence and hatred and terrorism. There were fires and floods and earthquakes, a lot of death tolls that had to be tallied up, mass shootings. There were more mass shootings this year than there were days, just in the United States alone. It's things like that that make me sad, which is why I wanted to make this channel. And so to end of the year right, I want to pick through all those bad stories and bring you the good ones, my favorite ones. Like the fact that Viola Davis won the Best Leading Actress in the Emmys of 2015, making her the first African American to win that award. Or how the Los Angeles Kings replaced a woman's 99 jersey, that's Wayne Gretzky if you don't know, because it was stolen while she was visiting a memorial of someone who was killed in a mass shooting. There was a lot of good in this world. There's a lot of good stories that make your heart feel warm and fuzzy, and there's a lot of stories that kind of made you smile and giggle, and so I want to share with you some of my favorites. A lot happened this year. There was scientific moments, like seeing water on Mars, or like seeing the first pictures of Pluto after the space shuttle traveled for a decade. There was a lot of wins this year. The Patriots won the Super Bowl, even though there may have been cheating involved, who really knows? The US women's soccer team won the World Cup, defeating China 1-0. The Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. I mean, yay. The Golden State Warriors beat the Cavs, winning their basketball championship. The Kansas City Royals beat the New York Mets to win the World Series after 15 years. American Pharoah won the Triple Crown. In case you don't know, American Pharoah is a horse. A lot of things happened at the other side of the world, too. Queen Elizabeth became the longest reigning monarch this year, and is still going. Prince George and Duchess Catherine welcomed their second baby this year. We now have a baby prince and a baby princess. The Pope had his first visit to America. It touched many people's lives. It was on TVs all over the place. Former President Jimmy Carter is now cancer-free. The United States Supreme Court legalized gay marriage. And there may be a lot of people who are still against that and are still fighting it, but I'm considering it a win. You may disagree with me. You may see that as a loss and as a bad thing in this world, just like you see the Pope visiting as a bad thing, or the fact that the United States women's soccer team won the World Cup. You might not be a Chicago Blackhawk fan. You might think that the Patriots cheated their way to the win. But at the end of the day, when all of these things happen, it made people smile. What I think is happiness and what you think is happiness may be two different things, but at the end of the day, all we really need to do is share smiles and kindness. There are a lot of stories that aren't breaking news like the ones that I just shared. Like the waitress who paid for a firefighter's meal after they'd been fighting a fire for days, only for the firefighters to repay her tenfold by buying a van for her father who is confined to a wheelchair. Or about the man, Tim, who opened his own restaurant in 2010 but recently made headlines because you can go to his restaurant and be served with hugs and a smile. How about the little girl who channeled her Aretha at her dance recital this summer? There's so many videos out there and so many stories. You see videos that are good and bad, and stories that make you happy and make you angry at life. You see people hit milestones, like Ellen hitting her 2000th show and having a stage dedicated to her and her alone. Or how this year we celebrated the future, because in Back to the Future 2, October 21st, 2015 was the day of the future. And here we are. So, my promise to you in 2016 is to bring you the best of the best. To bring you the stories that only bring tears to your eyes because it's so heartwarming and makes you feel. To bring stories that make you laugh and to make you want to share it with the world, because those are the stories we need to be seeing right now. We're surrounded by hatred and violence, police shootings and mass shootings and terrorist shootings, fires and earthquakes and floods, computer hacks, people hunting the wrong animals. Every single day I go to work and I sit in my office and the news is just more breaking news. It's more bad news. It's more news that makes you want to give up on life. So my resolution to you is make sure that you don't want to give up on life anymore. Because I know I don't. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm bringing you the not so breaking news. Starting on Sunday, it'll be a new year with new videos. And really, the best way for me to do that is for you to help. Like my video. Share it with all your family and friends. Subscribe. And do me a favor. In the comment section below, share your favorite story of 2015. If you haven't already noticed, at the end of every video, I've been dedicating it to someone who's lost their life. Normally in a mass shooting or in a terrorist attack. Most recently, it was the 6 airmen who lost their lives by a suicide bomber in Afghanistan. I'm going to continue to do this until there's no more mass shootings and terrorist attacks for me to report to you. Until I can finally end my video with just a smile. But until then, I'm going to honor those who can't watch my videos and who can't spread their smiles anymore. So, let's start 2016 off right. And, yeah, it's going to be a good year. I feel it. So that's all for today. And that's all for this year. Remember, there are 2 things that are free in this world. Kindness and a smile. So go ahead and share those, and I'll see you next year.